I think it was an inside job. $7,000 gone in 7 minutes, and the thieves never had to break a single lock. Someone gave them the keys, and I'm about to tell you exactly how I know. My name's Steve. I'm 34 from Colorado, and I work in insurance, which means I literally sell risk for a living. I should have seen this coming. But sometimes the person who thinks they know danger the best is the one who walks straight into it. And before you dismiss this as just bad luck in the wrong place at the wrong time, let me tell you, this wasn't random. This was calculated, coordinated, and executed by someone who had access to information they should never have had. Stick around, because what happened next will change how you think about travel security forever. It started innocently enough. Like thousands of Americans every year, I'd heard about Medellin's reputation for world-class dental work at a fraction of US prices. I had a cracked molar that needed attention, needed a crown, and the math was simple. Even with flights and accommodation, I'd save over 60% compared to getting it done in Colorado. I'm not the type to make impulsive decisions. I research, I plan, I mitigate risk. That's literally what I do for work. So when I started looking at accommodations, I wasn't just browsing, I was investigating. The Airbnb I found seemed perfect, located in Comuna 13, the famous neighborhood known for its incredible street art, the graffiti tour, and its transformation from one of the most dangerous places in the world to a tourist hotspot. The listing showed a modern building with electronic keypads on every door, not shared codes. Each guest got their own unique PIN. As someone who evaluates risk professionally, this checked all my boxes. Controlled access, digital paper trail, no physical keys to lose or copy. Secure. I thought I was being smart. I thought I was being careful. I had no idea I was actually making myself the perfect target. But we'll get to that in a moment. First, you need to understand just how normal everything felt. The host messaged me my unique access code exactly 1 hour before check-in. Professional, timely. The building's main keypad blinked green when I entered my code, that satisfying click of the deadbolt disengaging. Inside was a converted apartment split into several private rooms, mine at the end of the hall, complete with its own balcony and another keypad lock. I dropped my bag, stepped out onto that little balcony, breathed in the warm Paisa air, and thought to myself, solid choice, Steve. Day 1, dental consultation. The clinic was everything I'd hoped. Modern equipment, English-speaking staff, detailed treatment plan. Day 2, cleaning and impressions for the crown. Between appointments, I did exactly what you're supposed to do in Comuna 13. I walked the graffiti steps, listened to music from the street stalls, watched kids kick soccer balls in narrow alleys while the city opened up around me like pages in a storybook. That second night, I slept hard. Ice pack on my jaw from the dental work, phone charging on the nightstand, laptop on the desk, suitcase half open with tomorrow's clothes laid out. I remember thinking, 2 more days and I'm out of here. Easy trip. Now, I want you to think about this for a second. Picture yourself in a foreign country, in a room you think is secure, recovery from dental work, finally relaxing. What would it take for you to open your door to strangers at night? Keep that question in mind, because you're about to find out exactly how they made sure I would. It came as a soft, polite tap at my door. Not aggressive, not urgent, just normal. The kind of knock that says, "Hey, sorry to bother you, but..." It was late, but not too late, maybe 9:30 p.m. In a shared accommodation like this, it wasn't weird for guests to help each other out with small things. Wi-Fi password, directions, maybe someone locked themselves out of the main building and needed someone to buzz them in. Here's the thing that's going to haunt me forever. I didn't even look through the peephole. I just opened the door. 2 men pushed in before I could react, both wearing masks, one carrying a knife, the other with a small firearm tucked low and discreet, the way someone carries a gun when they've done this before and know exactly how to control a situation without creating chaos. No yelling, no theatrics, no Hollywood-style drama. "Tranquilo," one of them said, and somehow that single word managed to be both a command and a threat at the same time. Now here's where this story takes a turn that's going to make you question everything you think you know about travel security. Because while I'm standing there trying to process what's happening, my insurance-trained brain is asking all the wrong questions. As I went completely still, my mind started racing with questions that wouldn't make sense until much later. How did they get past the building's main door? How did they get past the apartment's entry door? How did they know which room was mine? But they didn't care about my questions. They had work to do. One blocked the exit while the other pulled out a small tote bag and started methodically emptying my life into it. Wallet, laptop, phone, watch, all my bank cards. He opened my suitcase and started taking clothes too. At first I thought, really? My socks? But when you're an ocean away from everything familiar, even losing socks feels like they're stealing pieces of your identity. Then, he found the emergency cash I'd taped under the desk, about $800 that was supposed to be my just-in-case fund. He didn't even react, just peeled it off, counted it quickly, and added it to the bag like it was expected. 7 minutes, maybe less. About $7,000 in equipment, cash, and personal items just gone. They slipped back into the hallway like smoke, leaving me standing there barefoot in the kind of silence that makes your ears ring. But here's the part that's going to sound crazy until it happens to you. Here's the part that even I, as someone trained to think about worst-case scenarios, couldn't have predicted about my own psychology in that moment. I didn't call the police. Not right away, not that night, not the next morning. I know how that sounds. But when you're in shock, when you're in a foreign country, when you've just lost everything that connects you to your normal life, your brain doesn't work the way you think it will. Instead, I called my bank. I called the dental clinic to cancel my remaining appointments and ask if they had Wi-Fi I could use. I messaged the host from the building's lobby tablet, a message that just said, "My room was robbed. Need help." I spent an hour staring at my reflection in the elevator's stainless steel walls, trying to figure out who I was in a city where suddenly nothing belonged to me. And that's when I learned the most terrifying part of this whole story, the part that transformed this from a random crime into something much more sinister. Later that day, I found out it wasn't just me. 2 other guests in the same building, different rooms, different floors, had experienced the exact same thing. The same soft knock, the same masks, the same knife and gun, the same quiet efficiency, the same 7-minute timeline. Each of us had unique door codes. That was supposed to be the security feature. That was the promise. And that's exactly why this felt like such a betrayal. Someone on the inside, whether it was the owner, a cleaner, a contractor, or someone with technical access to the keypad system, had either leaked those codes, shared building access, or figured out how to generate them on demand. Think about it. These weren't random break-ins. They knew exactly which doors to knock on. They knew exactly when guests would be alone. They knew exactly how to get through multiple layers of security without leaving any signs of forced entry. The locks didn't matter because the wrong people had the keys. Now, you might be wondering what happened next. Did I fight the system? Did I become a detective? Did I get justice? Well, let me tell you about the choice I had to make with a swollen jaw, no money, and a flight home in 48 hours. Another guest, one of the other victims, contacted the police. They came by, took statements, asked questions I couldn't fully answer with my broken Spanish. By then, my departure date was approaching, and my cash cushion was completely gone. The owner showed up, apologized, said they'd work with police on the investigation. That went exactly nowhere. Even if I'd filed my own report, what then? Translate documents I couldn't read, extend my Airbnb stay I couldn't afford, try to replace everything at foreign prices while hoping for a case number and a bureaucratic shrug? I didn't have time to become a private investigator in a country where I couldn't even replace my SIM card without carrying around the one document, my passport, that I was terrified to lose. So I left. I left with an ache in my jaw from unfinished dental work and a heavier ache in my chest from everything I'd learned about trust, security, and how quickly your life can be turned upside down by people who understand systems better than you do. But here's what I want you to understand and why I'm telling this story. If you're sitting there thinking, that would never happen to me, I'm too careful. I thought exactly the same thing. I still think Medellin is beautiful. I met kind people, and most travelers pass through without a problem. But this is Gringo Files, not a postcard. We're here to share the rules I live by now. No shared units. A private entrance with double locks is always safer than any digital system. Physical locks and cameras. Even better, a building with security guards and visible surveillance covering every angle. If you must share, vet it hard. Only choose shared spaces with reputable, verifiable staff and cameras covering every hallway and entrance. Use a safe. Make sure the unit has a hidden lockbox for valuables. Never leave everything accessible. Verify the host beyond the platform. Look for real business presence, consistent social profiles, and a local phone number you can actually confirm. Never open for strangers. If someone claims to be staff, make them message you through the app first and meet them at the outer door. Know the neighborhoods by time of day. Comuna Treci's graffiti tour area is vibrant and safe during the day, full of energy, music, and life. But at night, stay far away. It transforms completely once the tours pack up. Because the truth is simple. The wrong lock, the wrong knock, or the wrong street at the wrong hour can cost you everything. People ask if I regret not filing a police report myself. Maybe I do, maybe not. Someone else did, and it went nowhere. Maybe mine would have gone nowhere twice. What I regret is simple. I opened that door in a building where I thought unique codes made me safe. They didn't. So here's my question for you. What would you have done the moment you heard that knock? Would you have opened the door like I did? Would you have demanded they meet you at the building entrance? Would you have called the host first? Drop your answer in the comments, because somebody reading this might avoid what happened to me just because you took the time to think it through. And if you've been through something similar in Medellin, Cartagena, anywhere, tell your story. Share it. This is how we make the next traveler harder to rob. Because the truth is, most people are good, most places are safe, most trips are uneventful, but the ones that aren't, those are the ones we need to talk about. That's why this is Gringo Files, because behind the Instagram shots, there's a reality most gringos only discover the hard way. If this story changed how you think about travel security, hit that like button. If you want more real travel stories that might save you from expensive mistakes, subscribe and ring the notification bell. Until then, travel smart, trust your instincts, and never, ever open that door unless you know exactly who's on the other side.